Now, the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies is appealing for more than $100 million to help some of the millions of Ukrainians in need right now. The group's Secretary General, Jagan Chapagain, joins me now live from Warsaw. Thanks for being with us. What are their primary needs? Because we see all these just absolutely just helpless people with small children, sometimes with babies, crossing the border. Where do they go? How are they being taken care of right now?
You are absolutely right. Millions of people. I mean, the latest statistics we have is around 18 million people in Ukraine have been directly affected by the events there. And so far, around 1.2 million people have crossed the borders to different countries, and of course, Poland being the country which has received the most number of people. And you are absolutely right, it's mostly women and children who are crossing the border. Those people who are arriving here, of course, they are received in the reception centers, and once that is done, they are then sent to the hosting families or the places the authorities have organized for them to be accommodated.
Mm-hmm.
So they are actually sent to different parts of the country, and the Red Cross volunteers are actually supporting authorities in that effort.
But
And
obviously,
some of the,
oh, sorry, I
sorry,
thought
go
you
ahead.
were done with that thought, but I just actually wanted to ask you. Obviously, this is a short-term solution. It's not a long-term solution. We've seen with refugee populations in the Middle East, for instance, where for years they struggle. They can't go back home, and then they struggle to find adequate shelter and schooling and medical care and the rest of it. What could the plan be for this many Ukrainians in neighboring countries longer term if the war drags out?
Absolutely, and I think there are a number of experiences also from other parts of the world how to actually handle this type of situation. So it will be extremely important for the hosting countries to make provisions so the people can actually be integrated in the society. It's very important that the children are allowed to go to the school. It's very
Mm-hmm.
important that the families are allowed to get to the existing health systems. And in the meantime, the organizations like ourselves can actually help those populations actually survive in the beginning and settle in and actually be the part of the system. If we are to keep this population in camps or separate settlements, it will be extremely difficult to sustain those type of settlements in the long run.
Yeah.
So it will be very, very important for the hosting countries to actually offer them the facilities that is available to the local population.
Yeah. So this $109 million you're appealing for, what would it be? What would it be used for?
This has a portion to support, of course, some of the needs within Ukraine, and those are, of course, the immediate needs of the food, water, and the medicines. A majority of the funding is actually going to the neighboring countries, which are receiving now, 1.2 million refugees, which, of course, is expected to grow significantly in coming days. And here, our strategy is actually to get cash into people's hand. So once people get cash, they actually use it to buy stuff which are needed the most. Some might buy clothes, some might buy medicine, some might buy milk. So it's really we want to support the people with cash grants so that they can use the money in the best way they see fit. That's really the strategy we are working on. And part of the strategy will also be to support the hosting families. A lot of the families are hosting some of the Ukrainian population that are moving to
Mm-hmm.
these countries. In the long run, there will also be a huge pressure on the host families. So we'll also like to
Yeah.
support the host families with the cash grant.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been so generous, some of the people who've driven all the way
Absolutely.
across their country just to provide shelter, a free room to a family running from this horrible conflict. Thank you so much, Jagan Chapagain, the Secretary General of the Red Cross.